Welcome to Cryptid Concoctions, the post show to Miles, Menus, and Mystery. Today, we're going to be making Roux Ga Roux Ranch. That's Angela's Jalapeno Ranch from the Roux Ga Roux Cafe. We'll be answering some questions left in the comments and discussing our previous episode, Don't Fool with a Fouke Monster.
Today we'll be making the Roux Ga Roux Ranch. The Jalapeno Ranch served with pork skins at Angela's Roux Ga Roux Cafe. This recipe calls for a package and a half of powdered ranch, a cup of buttermilk, a cup of mayo, a quarter of a cup of pureed jalapenos, a tablespoon of lime juice, and a dash to about 1/8 of a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, depending on how spicy you want it. So first you want to start with your package of powdered ranch. This is important with any type of recipe you do. You want to put your dry ingredients first. That way they mix well with the wet ingredients. Angela made sure to say that she used a package and a half because she really likes that ranch flavor. After the powdered ranch is a cup of buttermilk. We're gonna go ahead and whisk together the buttermilk and ranch just to make sure it's mixed up before we include any other ingredients. Next up is the cup of mayo. Now that the mayo is in, we're gonna go ahead and mix that up to combine with the powdered ranch and the buttermilk. I was excited for this recipe when we decided to ask Angela for it, but as I'm making it and watching it come together, I cannot wait to start dipping pork rinds in this. After the buttermilk and mayo is the quarter cup of jalapeno puree. Make sure you include about 3 tablespoons of jalapeno juice as you puree it in your processor. Go ahead and stir that in. Next will be the tablespoon of lime juice. Last but not least is your dash of cayenne pepper. Angela did note that you can do a dash to about 1/8 of a teaspoon, depending on how spicy you like it. And there you have it, Angela's Jalapeno Ranch from the Roux Ga Roux Cafe.
That's really good.
So when Angela gave me, when I was on the phone with her talking about the recipe, she makes it obviously for the restaurant, and so she was trying to give me personal amounts, you know,
right.
A cup of mayo instead of like 5 gallons. Little does Angela know, Drew
I love ranch.
loves ranch.
I was like, just tell her to give us the restaurant's recipe because
I was gonna say you would bathe in ranch, but I didn't know if that was too crazy, but it's really not.
I'll make the whole restaurant's amount of ranch.
Our inner circle knows how much Drew loves ranch, so.
And I even have a saying that if she brings home a ranch and it's not Hidden Valley, maybe serve me enough cryptic concoctions one day and I'll tell you what that is. But Hidden Valley is the only ranch I'll eat, and now there is a second ranch that I'll eat.
And what is it? The Roux Ga Roux Ranch?
The Roux Ga Roux Ranch.
When we ate it at Roux Ga Roux Cafe.
Oh, whenever someone brings me ranch to the table, I'm super skeptical and I won't eat it.
Well, no, I was gonna say, we hadn't chosen what our concoction this week was gonna be, and when I was eating it, I never thought I would be back home eating it.
No.
And I'm thrilled.
Me neither, and I just had that thought, I'm like, let's ask her because this would make it's a great concoction. That,
it is a great
people
concoction.
can, she said to only eat pork skins with it. But
I've already thought about quesadillas, carrots.
I'm sorry, Angela, I might be using this ranch for more than pork skins, I'm sorry.
It's
but
so good.
At the restaurant, they only serve it with pork skins, she did say.
Angela also told us, or as a reminder, if you're making it at home, your dip consistency is not gonna be that of like a queso dip. It's definitely more runny. You want it to drip off your pork rind. You'll see on the powdered ranch packet that it will call for sour cream. Don't use sour cream, obviously, because we didn't. That's what gives it a really scoop of it, but she made sure, make sure it drips. Unlike her banana pudding, which is thick and delicious.
All right, so let's get into some comments and questions that were left on the video. We'll start with Gigi. I think she liked your
Falk around and find out.
Falk around and find out.
That was on the whim. And just so you guys know, our videos are not scripted. Perhaps the intros
and like narration will be, but if we're out there talking or something like that, we're just having natural conversations, and even in the interviews they're kind of meant to be natural.
We'll make a bullet list of things we want to just touch base on, and normally it's just me being nosy.
Well, I think it was like you wanted to know what kept Lyle coming back to Falk. That was a question that we had prior, but like Scooby-Doo, that just got brought up like on a whim, which I love Scooby-Doo, so it was cool. But
improv Scooby-Doo is always a good idea.
Oh yeah, for sure. She said love the whole interview and the illustrations.
Thank you, Gigi. Thank you. A lot of work goes into the artwork.
She does. I'll do the editing and she'll do all of the artwork.
Artwork, whether it's the nameplates, the illustrations, the animation. Yeah, that's me, all on my iPad. So thank you. That means a lot. Witters is back. Witters says, how the Falk did you manage to arrive the day after a sighting? That's a fabulous question.
That's a great question. No idea.
Did not plan that, obviously.
I had reached out to Lyle and of course asked him to chat with us, but we did not think that was going to happen.
I don't think Lyle thought that was going to happen.
No, so I think that made it pretty special. It was cool. Parker says, might just have to go to Arkansas and see what the Falk is going on with this monster. Did you guys get to do any more investigation while you were there? We did not get to do as much investigation as we wanted because of like super inclement weather. It's a miracle that we got to film as much as we did with the weather. So, I think going back is something we want to do at some point and spend a few more days there because it is kind of eerie out there, especially on those back county roads. And
you never know what. Well, and if you watched our Pascagoula video, you saw that we encountered bad weather there, and now we encountered bad weather at Falk. Maybe it's us.
Well, luckily our next episode, which we did shoot prior to visiting Falk, we have great weather.
Yeah.
We waited and waited and waited and let all the bad weather pass because it ruined like 2 or 3 times we were supposed to go.
That's right. We were supposed to go molt. Yeah, I forgot about that.
It's gonna be cool, and it's gonna be
the drone.
clean.
The drone
nice.
got more time. Yeah, Parker, you should absolutely go to Arkansas. Check out Mr. Denny's Monster Mart and see what the Falk is going on. Maggie says, don't leave us hanging. How was the camping trip near Boggy Creek? The primitive camping at Alex Smith Park is the epitome of Boggy Creek monster searching camping.
And we had even met a guy at the Monster Mart prior to us setting up, because we spoke with Lyle at the Monster Mart, and he was showing me like trail cams and all kinds of stuff, and he said there's been so many sightings at Alex Smith Park, so which is why we chose to go there. And as far as the camping goes, it's like we said, we want to go back. We ran into some really awful weather, and we want to go back and.
But that waterfront. It's right there on the lake. It's very cool.
And like when you're reading about Falk and you're reading how swampy it is, like that drive to the park is, you'll see exactly what they're talking about, what Lyle's talking about, and.
Yeah, I can't wait to go back.
D. O'Leary 07 says, did you guys go looking for the Falk monster while camping? And if you saw him, what would you do?
It's funny that you say that because as we were on County Road 9, what if the Falk monster was pulling me in? Would you save me or would you just film it? You would just film it.
Falk around and find out.
Nope, I already used that. It's funny that you asked that because I too was wondering that. What is Drew's commitment, me or the channel? And clearly the channel.
Not you or the channel, you or the Falk monster.
Well, the Falk monster. What would you do with that footage? Continue M3 without me?
That footage would change footage would change the world. Instead
of in memoriam for Jimmy and Calvin and Charlie, it'd be in memoriam for Lexi. But here's some Falk monster footage.
Some sighting footage right here.
We didn't get to look for as much as we wanted to.
Yeah. Return to Boggy Creek.
Return to Boggy Creek. Whenever we go to these towns, I just have an open mind. I don't really set expectations. That's me in general. But Falk was super small. We live in a small city, so it's fun to go to towns smaller than ours. But Mr. Denny's Monster Mart was one of the only shops in town. And what was cool as we ate lunch after we spoke with Lyle, there were high schoolers coming in and grabbing food after lunch and heading out. And to them,
it was just like another day.
Just another day, just another, like a 7-Eleven or Circle K.
Whereas we're like super enthralled.
We're like nerding out with exactly.
Walking through the museum.
So that was fun. I would say the town embraces the Fouke Monster culture.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is always good. Sometimes, like I would say Pascagoula.
It embraces alien culture.
Yeah, because of the Close Encounter. But I would say Fouke embraces the Boggy Creek Monster maybe just a little more. Yeah. As we mentioned in the video, Texarkana is the closest big city to Fouke, which we are super glad it was because we got to go see Angela at the Roux Ga Roux Cafe.
And the food was awesome. The étouffée, her banana pudding, the bread.
The bread pudding. The gator bites.
It's probably the best gator I think I've ever had.
There was not a thing on that table that I didn't love.
Do you remember like how full you got
I was
after
so
like
full after
one crab cake? And you're over here like, cue that face again. You're over here like, oh, I can't eat anymore. And we've got like
3 more plates.
They're bringing more food and more food.
I was so hungry. My eyes were way bigger than my stomach.
Yeah, it was really good. And from Roux Ga Roux Cafe, we would like to thank Savannah and Kylie, as well as the rest of the staff that was there. And
super friendly.
Well. Super friendly. We had a great time. And
I even picked up some red rub seasoning from the Roux Ga Roux Cafe.
And it's got like some of the art from the food truck on it, which is super cool.
As we wrap up this episode of Cryptid Concoctions, along with our Roux Ga Roux Ranch, we have a special announcement. June 29th in Canton, Ohio, we're one of the sponsors for Small Town Monsters Monsterfest 2.
We're super excited to go back to Monsterfest. She had an art booth last year.
I did. I sold art last year.
And it was a lot of fun. They have a lot of guests, a lot of live podcasts. I think even some like pretty informative sessions this year about what to do when you're researching and stuff like that. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So mark your calendars, June 29th, if you guys are going to be near the area or you like to travel. Visit Monsterfest 2, see us and see Small Town Monsters, and
kids get in free.
Kids get in free. It's going to be a lot of fun. Food trucks, and it's going to be awesome. And before we go, we have one more announcement. We are taking a little bit of a mid-season break, but don't worry, N3 will be back on June 14th with our 3rd episode, and then June 28th, the day before Monsterfest, for the final episode of our first season. And the Q&A that following week in July, we'll kind of wrap up the season, wrap up the final episode, and we'll talk about, our experience at Monsterfest.
It's gonna be a fun summer.
It will be a fun summer. So thank you guys for watching so far. And remember, June 14th for the next episode where we explore a witch's grave. And it's kind of a touching story. So I think you guys will like it.
It's gonna be fun. Until next time.
Until next time.